be a bit confusing, but basically it boils down to a couple different categories.
Yeah, and the biggest change, if you tested positive for COVID, regardless of vaccination status, they want you to stay home for 5 days. Our Megan Woods is live at Beaumont Grosse Pointe to break down the changes. And Megan, what are local doctors saying about this?
Yeah, well, they're telling us that, yes, this is sparking conversations and a lot of confusion. One doctor we spoke to here at Beaumont Grosse Pointe is telling us that once that announcement was made, questions from patients started pouring in. She says an easier way to take a look at this is seeing what category do you fit in. Are you testing positive, or did you just get exposed? Are you experiencing symptoms or not?
A lot of people have been asking me, why 5 days? Like, what happened to the 10? And are we now being less protected?
With hospitals full, lines for COVID testing wrapped around buildings, and we're still in the holiday season, many are wondering why cut the isolation time in half.
And the answer to that is really based on the evidence is that the COVID-19 virus, especially with Omicron, is most infectious 2 days before you have symptoms and 3 days afterwards. So that's why that magic number 5 is there.
And even after those 5 days, that person still has to mask up.
It's still asking for extra protection for the total of 10 days, which has been the same as before. The difference is just you've got 5 days of being quarantined if you are asymptomatic and exposed or have a positive test and not boosted, and then 5 days of masking afterwards when you're back out in public.
She said the key in understanding these changes is whether someone is asymptomatic and not showing symptoms after 5 days.
Let's say you do test positive and you do have symptoms. Nothing has changed in terms of guidelines for that. So if you have symptoms for COVID-19 and you tested positive, you should stay home until your symptoms have resolved, or you've been fever-free for at least 24 hours without medication.
And she says when it comes to wearing masks after that isolation or just in general, there is evidence that cloth masks don't have enough filters. So she suggests you double masking or getting a surgical mask that has 2 to 3 filters. Live in Grosse Pointe, I'm Megan Woods, Local 4.
And Megan, we've been seeing a lot of people getting tested after the holiday. When did she say is the best time to get tested?
So with all of this, that magic number is 5. So she suggests that 5 days after you've been exposed, that's when you should get tested, because that's when the results would be the most accurate.
All right, 5 days. Thank you so much, Megan.